You may recall in one of my earlier videos I mentioned a split in philosophy between the rationalists and the empiricists. So far, the differences between the two have been pretty minor, but with the appearance of Plato's prodigy, Aristotle, the differences become a bit more stark. We know for a fact that Aristotle was the tutor of Alexander the Great. We also know that upon seeking the best education, Aristotle came to Plato's academy. If Socrates was the guy who discovered the ball and Plato was the guy who got the ball rolling, Aristotle was the guy who picked up the ball and started playing with it. What you doing over there, Aristotle?
I'm playing with my balls.
That's nice. Why is he so important? Let's find out. This is Aristotle. Aristotle had a lot going for him. His family had a long tradition of serving the royal family of Macedonia, and as luck would have it, Macedonia produced Alexander the Great. When Aristotle was about 18, he grew discontent with his comfortably palatial life, and he began to yearn for more, not unlike every Disney princess ever. He left Macedonia, and sought out Plato, who was famous by now for his academy. The two studied together for 20 years and became good friends despite their differences. Where Plato was otherworldly and rationalistic, Aristotle was more pragmatic and empirical. The two were so influential that it has been said that everyone is either a Platonist or an Aristotelian. To demonstrate this, let's take a look at Raphael's School of Athens.
You mean the academy? It wasn't Raphael's school, idiot. It was Plato's.
Gee, CD, why can't I talk about philosophy for more than 2 minutes before some inanimate object throws his 2 cents in?
Or her 2 cents in.
Shut up. I agreed to keep doing your videos, but you're driving me batshit insane.
That's guano insane.
Sorry about that, folks. My CD and my eraser haven't been giving me a lot of lip lately. They aren't too fond of the quiet game, if you know what I mean.
Tell them about Aristotle.
I'm getting to that! So, where was I? Upon closer examination, we see that Plato, left, and Aristotle, right, are doing very different things with their hands. Oops, sorry, wrong picture. Plato is pointing upward to the world of the forms, whilst Aristotle is pointing forward to the world of the here and now. Aristotle didn't much care for Plato's theory of forms, partly because it obliterated any need for science, and science was of utmost importance to Aristotle, because he believed that knowledge began with the study of particular things. To understand Aristotle's views of science, let's take a look at a banana. I like that word. Banana. Banana.
Oh, banana.
Whoever gets that reference wins 10 awesome points. Now, there are 3 people interested in this banana. The first is an artist. The artist appreciates the aesthetic beauty of it, but doesn't have much understanding of it beyond that. The second person is a banana farmer. The farmer knows more about bananas than the artist does because, well, he grows them. He knows how to grow them and when to pick them, but even he doesn't know much about bananas beyond that. Along comes a scientist. This person examines the banana and compares it to other bananas to find out what is normal for bananas, and thus understands the particular banana and the universal banana better than the artist or the farmer. For Aristotle, science is not just a catalog of facts. Science today is mostly content with knowledge of probabilities, but that wasn't enough for Aristotle, oh no. He insisted that science is made up of necessary truths demonstrated by axioms, or self-evident things that don't require any explanation. For example, everyone believes in the axiom of gravity, most people believe in the axiom of their senses, and no one believes in the axiom of Michael Bay movies that don't have huge explosions and poorly written female leads. Aristotle called the really important axioms the first principles. Socrates and Plato thought that these first principles were explained by the theory of innate knowledge, but Aristotle took one look at that theory and said that he thought it was
wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Aristotle was convinced that the structure of reality was the same as the structure of language and thought, so his task was to seek a better understanding of these structures. The fruit of his labor was logic. Logic is the science of forming arguments that divine truths by mathematical principles. Spock had nothing on this guy. In fact, Spock stole from this guy. Oh yeah, I went there. You mad Star Trek fans. Logic is expressed through statements called arguments. A philosophical argument is not a yelling match and is not a heated disagreement. In it, the arguer puts forth the premise and provides reasons for a conclusion. Let's take a look at a very basic argument. No, wrong argument, that's much too silly.
Quite agree, silly. Right, get on with it.
Instead, let's take a look at an argument that follows this basic structure. All P are M. Some S are not M. Therefore, not all P are M. This could easily be translated to, all Twilight books are immature adolescent tripe. Some immature adolescent tripe is not Twilight. Therefore, not all immature adolescent tripe is Twilight. I mentioned in my last video that Plato's theory of forms received a lot of criticism, and the first of its critics was none other than Aristotle. Plato's apprentice had 3 things to say about the forms. First, they needlessly complicate things instead of simplifying them. Second, they don't allow much room for the development of science. And third, the forms cannot be the essence or substance of things as Plato claimed if they exist apart from their particulars. Even though he was fond of the old fart, Aristotle brutally dismissed Plato's forms, saying that even if they exist, they are irrelevant to our discussion. But, and this is a big but, he doesn't dismiss them completely. Where Plato said that the forms were otherworldly and exist apart from their particulars, Aristotle says that the forms do exist in the world of nature, and they are a part of the essence of any given thing. For example, there is no form of snowmanness, but there are individual snowmen, each exhibiting a kind of form that identifies it as a snowman. It isn't the forms that are important, but the substance of things that give them their whatness. According to Aristotle, there are 2 easy questions to ask about something to determine its individual substance. First you ask, what is it? For example, what is a really poorly written and overrated book? Any person with self-respect and good taste will answer, Twilight. And no, I'm not letting the Twilight thing go. That franchise ruined vampires for me. Anyway, this leads us to ask, what is Twilight? To determine Twilight's whatness, we need to compile a list of properties that make up Twilight's substance. And believe me, I've got a list ready. Twilight is a story about an expressionless and 2-dimensional girl who falls in love with an expressionless and 2-dimensional guy, and together they share expressionless and 2-dimensional moments of bland stupidity. I could go on, believe me, but I've got to keep this short. Now that we know Twilight's whatness, we can ask, what's Twilight's thisness? There are many stories about expressionless and 2-dimensional girls who fall in love with expressionless and 2-dimensional... Okay, you get the idea. There are many pieces of sparkly excrement out there, but only Twilight is a twilighty piece of sparkly excrement. These same 2 questions of whatness and thisness could be asked about anything. Anyway, that's all the time we've got for today, but we'll pick this up again in the next video, so stay tuned.
Or else I'll erase your heart so nobody can love you anymore.
What did I say about inanimate objects interrupting me?
That's the idiot signing off.
Somebody kill me.
I'm going slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad. It finally happened. It finally happened. Oh yes, it finally happened. I'm slightly mad.
Oh, this is the life.